Oh my goodness. This is Traci Harrell, and I am here with the famous, infamous Damon Williams. I'm just joking. Damon Williams. Damon, how are you?
Doing fantastic. And for those who don't know, that's an inside joke. So I have to tell her Damien is the devil, and that ain't my name.
I accidentally texted him with that, and he was so gracious. He said, "Sure, I'll be happy to meet with you tomorrow." It's Damon, by the way, not Damien.
No sixes.
No sixes, no antler. I met you at the National Black MBA Association at the national conference. You Correct. Were hilarious. You were amazing, but you were also very serious about the work. Tell us about what that experience was like for you, and why it was important for you to get up there and talk about inclusion and diversity and doing the right thing, us coming together to lead change.
SMS speakers invited me to be a part of the panel with a gentleman. He wrote a book about humor and just how humor can be implemented throughout corporate America as well. So they invited me to add humor to his presentation. What they didn't expect is me to also have, insightful commentary and more information in that area. So it was a good synergy between his seriousness with attempts to be funny and my funny with attempts to be serious.
Yes, it was absolutely amazing stuff day by day, changing your beliefs about a thing and then just doing it. So you came up and you gave some basics too. Talk about that.
Well, it's really common sense, but from a corporate standpoint, you can't assume that common sense is common. So a lot of people wait,
hold on. I'm not gonna let you just drop that one and keep moving. No. Say that again.
You cannot assume in a corporate structure that common sense is common. The fact that in this day and age, there are still Caucasian women that think it's okay to touch Black women's hair, or even to inquire about touching Black women's hair. If you're in a workplace and you're like, "Oh, your hair is it's so different. Can I touch it?" No, you cannot touch it. You cannot pat it. I have the same issue sometimes with people, and women especially. Your hair is so shiny. Can I rub it? No, I'm married. Nobody rubs my hair but my wife. So it's common sense will tell you, you can't rub my hair. I remember this guy, and he meant no harm by it, but I was sitting and I was doing autographs on DVDs I was selling after the show. And it was an all-white audience, Chicago at Zany's. And one of the guys, he was so happy, he was enjoying himself. I was so funny to him, but he's like, "Man, you're the greatest, man." He grabbed me, and he just like kissed the top of my forehead. I'm like, "Dude," and gave me a little pat. I'm like, "Man, I ain't no Cocker Spaniel," So that's why you need these classes. And you would think you wouldn't need to tell people to not invade your personal space or invade your cultural space. So, and we don't want special or preferential treatment. We just want equal opportunities and equal respect. And it's disrespectful sometimes to ask certain things and to do certain things. And so we discuss humor being implemented in a situation like one of the questions, when is it okay to be funny at the workplace? The only way you should try to be funny is if the joke that you're trying to tell will make the person you're telling it laugh. If he just told jokes about transphobic, or he not mean, excuse the word transphobic, about transgendered people, he wouldn't come across transphobic if he were making them laugh as well, as opposed to making them the brunt of the joke. So it's tact, and everybody doesn't have that skill. So that's why we need success coaches like yourself to let people know how to deal with these things.
I love it. Turning it up. So how did that feel to be around so many people? Because for me, part of this work, it really does have a collective, it requires community. It requires us to do this together. Why is that togetherness and that connectivity so important?
Well, the greatest part about it is it's the young people that are involved. And so that people that in their generation and generations that after them will have more diversity and inclusion. And, so it's good. That generation is woke, but it also is good to see that many people like-minded coming together for betterment of themselves, of the culture, of the corporate climate, and things of that nature. So I was encouraged by it, and I look forward to doing more of them. I'd like to be on that circuit a little more, because that was it's my second time with something with the NBA. But it was definitely, something I like to be more involved with, because I think I have a voice and I have a perspective that they probably need to hear.
No, that they definitely need to hear HBCUs, etc. So first talk, see, is that what unapologetic? Tell me, talk about what unapologetically Black means. So people are gonna be like, really? What does that mean to you?
It means that being Black is not something you have to apologize for. It's not something you have to even acknowledge. It is what you are, and you are who you are, and you're proud of it. You know, I love the skin I'm in. I love who we are and what we do. Those of us that are definitely being prominent and trying to do things in a proper way and lead by an example. And so, you know, that's why I'm sitting in front of this flag. I can't wait to Juneteenth. We're gonna be out there like Cinco de Mayo this year in Chicago. I'm getting these flags everywhere.
They shut it down in Chicago.
Yes. That's right. You all you saw
we were there doing Cinco. Yeah, we were there doing whatever they were doing. Oh, it was September, whatever it was. What was it?
I guess you all were here for Mexican independence. It's two different things, but regardless,
there you go. Yes.
They definitely represent. The flags are on the hood of the cars. They fly in from the back of the car. So I'm doing my flag. That inspired me. I'm like, okay, I'm getting me a flag as well.
Unapologetically Black. So what would you say? What would you say to white people who are like, what does that mean exactly? Information being that you want to share with leaders.
Because us being unapologetically Black does not threaten your whiteness. You know, you can be unapologetically white. You know, but you do have to apologize for some of the things white people have done in the past, you know, or at least acknowledge it and understand where we're coming from a place of disadvantage based on your ancestral misdeeds. So that being the case, you don't have to feel offended by our Blackness, and you don't have to hide your whiteness, you know. And so everybody can be who you are. I mean, Italian Americans, French Americans, Spanish Americans, Mexican Americans, African Americans, you know, it's inclusion and diversity. So, you know, lighten up if you can. White people, don't take it so serious, but let us celebrate ourselves, because the more we celebrate ourselves, the more our esteem is risen, then the more I believe prosperous we'll be. You know, the more productive we'll be if we lead by example for our youth, as opposed to some of the negative images that they're receiving on a daily basis, and let us be unapologetically Black and show examples of what that is. Then down the line, you will benefit as well, because we'll all benefit as a society.
Damon Williams, the comedian, is also a theologian, a doctor. I mean, you killing it. Praise, brother.
I said my mama thinks I should be a preacher, but she didn't take us to church when we was young, so my scriptures are off.
Scriptures, you just preach right there, brother. You heard Joe Handy actually talk about, you know, living beyond a hashtag. Companies made all these statements during George Floyd about what they were going to do and how they were about this and about.
Your foot on the gas and keep the pressure on for them to definitely be accountable for their situation. If you made all these proclamations of unity and support during, you know, the unrest, now's the time to keep the work going. And it's also time for all those people that were out protesting. It's not just about the photo op and the march, it's about the work being done afterwards. My son is an activist, but he's continuously and constantly working toward all the goals of their organization. Let Us Breathe in Chicago, Let Us Breathe 773 on Instagram. And I see what it takes to get the results. You know, it's cool to have the hashtag and the, you know, the photo op, but definitely it takes work in the trenches on a daily basis to get, you know, the actual outcome that we all seek.
Success series. I'm a success coach, right? My company is called It's All Bigger Than Me Consulting. There's a song by Leandra Johnson. I got to give her credit. It's called Bigger Than Me. It's my theme anthem, okay? So someone sent me a text message. One of our past board chairmen for the Black MBA sent me a text saying, girl, you got to see Kevin Hart was just on CBS with Gayle King, and he was talking about something that was bigger than me, right? And he was using this bigger than me concept, and you're here because it's bigger than you. You said, Traci, I'm in, how can I help? So let's talk about this concept of bigger than me. Why is this concept of it's being bigger than me and showing these successes? Why is this so important? And what does that mean to you?
Well, when it comes to Kevin Hart, everybody's bigger than him. But I mean, that was right there. I was
right there. I didn't even know I was just giving you a softball. Kevin, we love you. We'd love to have you come talk about
Absolutely. He's inspirational. He's the GOAT of the present right now as far as what he's doing. And that explains how he's doing what he's doing. And what that statement means to me and what it meant to me from him saying it. I saw an interview with him when they were talking about Chappelle, and it might have been pre-special, but it was about the cancel culture. And Kevin said, whereas Dave is an entity and he's an individual, Kevin is more of a conglomerate, and what he does affects lots of lives and households. If something, he has a radio network, he has, several production companies and things like that. So he has employees. So if he gets canceled, it may trickle down to all of them losing opportunities. So it's bigger than him. So he can't just be willy-nilly and be bogus. If he decides to cross the line, he has to be really intentional in his statements and things that he does publicly. Excuse my stutter.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's what bigger than me means. Bigger than me means it's not about you, and what you do can help and affect others, and that's really the whole basis of bigger than me for me. I mean, what I do on a smaller level is bigger than me as well. I have a lot of people who rely upon me in the comedy industry for bookings and things of that nature here in Chicago. And then across the industry, I've been very beneficial to some that have gone on to do great things. And so that makes it bigger than me. When I'm doing what I do, I didn't do it just for me, I did it for them, and they go on exponentially and help others. And that's, the pay it forward message.
Wow.